Welcome back to Hospitality Business with the Silver Fox. That's me, Stephen Hickmore, and this is episode number 6 of my podcast series. So today I want to tell a story of one of the most important hospitality entrepreneurs in South Africa. He's a man who changed not only our hotel industry, but the global resort business as well. He is the OG of hospitality in South Africa, and that man is Sol Kerzner. If you work in hospitality, you study hospitality, or you own a guest house or dream of opening a restaurant, or simply want to understand what separates average businesses from extraordinary ones, then Sol Kerzner's story has lessons for all of us. Believe me, he was not perfect. He was controversial, and he was demanding. I know this firsthand. I did some work for him when he was opening a resort on the Comores Islands quite a number of years ago. Just his stare over the rim of his glasses made me nervous, and I always thought that I wasn't a person that was easily intimidated. I knew I had better get my job right, or I was going to face his wrath. Sol Kerzner took risks that would terrify most people, but he had vision, he had drive, and perhaps most importantly, he had the ability to see something where other people saw nothing. Kerzner was born in Durban in 1935, into a family that owned small kosher hotels. He understood hotels from the ground up because he grew up in them. He saw guests arriving, he watched staff working, and he learned about food, service, maintenance, housekeeping, and more importantly for him, accounting. He did not start as a billionaire. He was not coming from money. He started as a small boy in his family business. Later on, he studied accounting at Wits University, and he qualified as a chartered accountant. Now, that's important because hospitality is often seen as a glamorous industry, but the best hoteliers understand numbers as well as they understand service. Lesson number 1 from Sol Kerzner: great hospitality is built on strong financial discipline. Well, too many people in hospitality fall in love with the dream and ignore the numbers. Well, Kerzner loved both. He understood that every room, every restaurant seat, every entertainment venue, and every square meter of a property had to make financial sense. His first breakthrough came when he built South Africa's first 5-star hotel. That was the Beverly Hills Hotel in Umhlanga. This was in the late 1960s. Now, if you know the Beverly Hills Hotel, it's still a fantastic 5-star hotel now. I know, I've stayed in it quite often. Standards are still high. So there's a lot of traditional values in that hotel. What is remarkable is that he'd never even stayed in a true 5-star hotel before when he imagined first building one. So he traveled to the United States and he looked at hotels in Miami, New York, and came back with ideas bigger than anything South Africa had seen before. Well, that leads me to lesson number 2. If you want to build something exceptional, you need to expose yourself to bigger ideas. Too many businesses simply copy what everybody else is doing. But Kerzner traveled, he observed, he studied, and he imagined something better. He asked himself, why should South Africans not have hotels that are just as glamorous and exciting as anything in America or Europe? He produced one of the first hotels in South Africa that had every room with a view, and that's what he saw in the Fontainebleau Hotel in Miami, and that's what he learned when he worked there for a period of time. After the Beverly Hills, he built the huge Elangeni Hotel on Durban's beachfront, and later co-founded Southern Sun Hotel Group. In the early 1980s, Southern Sun had become one of the largest hotel groups in the country. But Sol Kerzner was never satisfied with simply building hotels. He believed hotels should entertain people. Now, this is when I talk about the experience economy. He understood this very early on in his career. It wasn't just about service. It was about giving somebody an incredible experience. And he believed the guests wanted more than a bed and breakfast. He believed that hospitality should create emotion, excitement, and memories. That thinking eventually led to his biggest gamble of all, and that was Sun City. When Sol Kerzner first flew over the Pilanesberg area, which is a beautiful area in Mpumalanga with the most wonderful game reserve, so anybody listening from overseas, you've really got to go and visit there. It's about an hour and a half from Johannesburg. It will blow your mind. Many people saw empty land in the bushveld. He didn't. He saw a resort city. He saw golf courses, casinos, lakes, concerts, luxury hotels, and something Africa had never seen before. Most people would have said it was impossible. It was remote. It was expensive. It was risky. But Sol Kerzner built it anyway. And when Sun City opened in 1979, people couldn't believe it. Over time, it grew into 4 hotels, a championship golf course, a man-made lake, entertainment venues, and eventually the incredible Palace of the Lost City, beautiful 5-star hotel which revolves around a story of an ancient lost civilization. Lesson number 3, entrepreneurs must be willing to take calculated risks. Now notice that I said calculated risks, not reckless risks. So Kerzner wasn't careless. He studied opportunities, he understood markets, and he knew there was a growing demand for entertainment and escape. He was willing to back himself when other people were uncertain. That's one of the biggest differences between successful entrepreneurs and average ones. Average people wait for certainty. Great entrepreneurs act before the certainty exists. Another important lesson from Sol Kerzner is the power of creating an experience. He understood something before anybody else did. People do not just buy products, they buy feelings. Well, there's the experience economy all over again. So people don't simply book a room, they book romance. And they book status. They book memories and they book escape. Kerzner once said that the challenge was to blow the customer away by giving them an experience beyond what they expected. If you own a hotel, a restaurant, a lodge, a guest house, or a tourism business, ask yourself, are you simply delivering a service, or are you creating an experience people will remember and talk about? Because the businesses that win are not always the cheapest. Kerzner was also obsessed over standards. He was known for walking through properties and noticing the tiniest details. He would look at flowers, carpets, uniforms, lighting, service speed, reception areas, and public bathrooms. He expected perfection. I know. I did some work at the Carousel Hotel quite a number of years ago. Interestingly enough, the Carousel Hotel was built for gambling revenue to fund the building of the Lost City at Sun City. About 3 days before they were due to open, Kerzner went through there and he told the people to replace the carpets. They were not what he wanted. So he expected perfection. So some staff found him difficult. Some people found him intimidating. But his attention to detail became one of the reasons his hotels became famous. Lesson number 4, details matter. Excellence is not one big thing. It's 1,000 small things done properly. By the 1990s, Kerzner already had conquered South Africa, but he was not done. He looked overseas. He bought a failing resort in the Bahamas and turned that into legendary Atlantis Paradise Island. Again, he saw what others didn't. Other people just saw a bankrupt property. He saw one of the greatest destinations in the world, and he built one of the most beautiful resorts. He expanded into a massive resort with thousands of rooms, marine attractions, restaurants, casinos, entertainment venues. And he later took on a similar project, Atlantis in Dubai, with Atlantis the Palm. Lesson number 5, never stop evolving. Many entrepreneurs become successful and then become comfortable. Kerzner never stopped building, expanding, improving, and thinking globally. He also created the very excellent One and Only Resorts, which became known for ultra-luxury properties in beautiful destinations, such as the one in Cape Town. That teaches another lesson. Do not build a business that depends entirely on one product or market. Build brands, build systems, build experience people trust. That way, your business can grow beyond you. Kerzner was very, very good at recruiting the right people. Kerzner expected loyalty. He also expected excellence from every single manager, waiter, cleaner, chef that he employed. He was not the easiest person to get on with, as I mentioned before, but those that developed with him grew with him. It's important to say that Sol Kerzner's life wasn't without tragedy and controversy. He experienced some major personal losses, including the loss of his first wife and the death of his son Butch in a helicopter accident. He also faced criticism over aspects of his business dealings, and perhaps that's another lesson for entrepreneurs. Success does not mean a life without pain. Behind many great businesses are enormous sacrifices, stress, criticism, and setback. Kerzner suffered a serious heart attack in 1980 because of the pressure he was under. Yet he returned to work soon afterwards. I'm not saying that this is healthy, but it does show the intensity, resilience, and obsession that often sits behind extraordinary achievement. So what can hoteliers, hospitality students, and entrepreneurs learn from Sol Kerzner? He understood the numbers. Number 2, he can think bigger than his surroundings. Number 3, take calculated risks. Number 4, create experiences, not just products. 5, obsess over the detail. Number 6, keep evolving. And then number 7, last but not least, never stop believing that you can build something extraordinary. Because that is what Sol Kerzner did. He took hospitality from simple hotels to entertainment, luxury, theatre, and experience. He helped put South Africa on the global hospitality map. And whether you admire every part of his story or not, there's no doubt that he remains one of the most influential hoteliers our country has ever produced. Sadly, Sol Kerzner passed away in March 2020, but his legacy remains, and he's a great lesson to all hoteliers and entrepreneurs in South Africa. So thank you for listening to this episode of Hospitality Business with the Silver Fox. That's me, Stephen Hickmore. I hope you enjoyed this episode, so please follow, share, leave a review, or visit me on hospitality.co.za, and I look forward to the next podcast.